Well, good morning. How you doing out there in Pondering Land? Welcome to Pondering, the show where we do just that. We ponder. I am adjusting the video. Sorry, folks, if you think there's a minor earthquake, it is not an earthquake. It is the camera being tossed to and fro. There we go. I am your host, Joel Rissinger. This is Pondering, a show where every weekday, Monday through Friday, we ponder things, we talk about them, and we do so from a Christian worldview and perspective. We allow others in, and certainly anybody can share. You can disagree. I've always said you can disagree with the host because you, in America, have the right to be wrong. Yes, but we do a lot of different opinions and ideas. We ask that you not be disagreeable. We don't call names. We don't impute motives. We simply talk. And we try to think things through, and we also try to encourage Christians not to check their brains at the door on Sunday morning and say, okay, we can't talk about politics because it's not spiritual, or we can talk about politics but we don't do it on Sunday, or we talk about religion but not on Tuesday. I mean, this is ridiculous. You are who you are, and if you're a follower of Jesus, you have a new identity in Him. It should impact everything you think, say, do. Yes, even how you vote and how you operate on your job. So we talk about all that stuff, parenting, etc., sex, money, you name it. It's all done for the purpose of honoring God by living out a life that's based on faith, not separated from faith or compartmentalized, such that faith is a different deal altogether. We do that every day, as I said, every weekday. And we also encourage people just to think about stuff as opposed to what's on the news, what's sort of spit out as a soundbite, and frankly may or may not even be true, but certainly may not be complete as it should be. So we thank you for joining us. Welcome to Jim, Linda, Fred, Leah. Great to have you guys with us. Thank you for joining us this fine day. Hope you're doing well. It is a warm day, cloudy, kind of, but relatively un-February-like. It has been. This winter has been a nothing winter so far. We'll see what happens in the next few weeks, but so far it has been very light, and I don't miss, shoveling snow. It's okay with me, That's all good. And a little global warming is actually a good thing, I guess. Just kidding. Don't get all upset. You're fine. It's going to be all right. Hey, it is Tuesday morning, and I hope you got through Monday okay. We're gonna talk through some of that and look at the week ahead. I would invite you guys, if you want, tomorrow night we'll be starting a Bible study series on the book of 1 Corinthians, and we'll be working through that over the next 12 weeks or so. Good morning, Susie. I'm glad you're on board here today. And yeah, you can do that via Zoom. You don't even have to show up, although Susie would love to have you at her home in Hartford. It's a beautiful place. But if you can't make it there or don't want to fight traffic and parking, you can certainly join us via Zoom. In order to do that, you just need to send me a note saying that you're interested. It'll be every Wednesday night at 7 p.m., 7 to 8:30, basically. This is our time slot, and we'll be doing that for 12 weeks, starting mañana, tomorrow night. And I love the book of 1 Corinthians because I think it just answers so many questions. It really does. It's a book that gives us insight into very spiritual things and some things that are more, I guess you could say, fleshly and physical that we have to deal with in order to live out the life we're called to. And I'm very excited about teaching through it. So if you do want to Zoom, and you say, what is Zoom? Well, it's basically just a program that allows you to watch and participate on your laptop or your phone or some device. So if you send me an email, joel@lifewaych.com, and that is the Lifeway Church website also, by the way, lifewaych.com. You can learn about our church and all kinds of good things happening there. But send me a note, joel@lifewaych.com, and just say, I want to Zoom. And no, it's not a Subaru commercial. Zoom. No Asian kids will call you with weird Zoom, messages or anything. So it'll all be good. But it's a program that basically what I'll do is I'll be sending you a link, and you don't have to download anything. 7 o'clock Wednesday night, you click the link, and up pops a window. If you have your camera turned on, we'll see you, you'll see us. You can interact as if you're sitting right there in Susie's living room. And on the screen, you'll see others who have logged in. It looks like Hollywood Squares, if you remember that old game show. You'll have little boxes across the screen and 2 or 3 layers of them. And everybody's there, and you can chat, talk, make faces at them, whatever you feel led to do as we go through it. And that, again, will be starting tomorrow night, February 5th, at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Good morning to Dave Townsend and Linda Taylor. Welcome to you guys. Glad to have you. Glad you joined us today. So that's coming up Wednesday. I mentioned Lifeway. Hey, you're always welcome to join us. 9:30 and 11:15. 9:30 and 11:15 every Sunday at 2172 Berlin Turnpike in Newington. That's 2172 Berlin Turnpike, kitty corner across from Bolorama, if you know where that is. And we are there every week, and you can also join us online. We at least broadcast our messages. I will be starting a 2-part series this Sunday that I'll be doing called Relationship Rules. And it has a double entendre in a sense, so we want your relationships to rule, baby. But there are rules, there are guidelines, there are keys to that. Unfortunately, we don't like to talk about that in the modern church, because anybody that mentions rules is a legalist. We're not talking about rules that get you saved, because that's by grace alone, through faith alone, in Jesus Christ alone. We believe it. We know it. But there are rules that work, and you can follow them or you can ignore them. It's kind of like gravity. You can ignore it. You can walk off your roof. You can leap from a tall mountain. And you will find out that gravity is real, and there are consequences for ignoring it. Rather, why not work with it? Why not take advantage of this law of physics that God's given us and use it for good? And then we feel the same way about relationships. So we'll be going through not just relationship rules for couples, although we'll start there, but also for parents and kids and bosses and employers, employees, and just friends. We'll be talking about those things the next couple weeks at Lifeway. So we hope that you'll join us and tell your friends and come on down. There's also great coffee and snacks. And, hey, if nothing else, it's worth the trip for that. So we hope, and the music's good too. They have a backup singer that's a little weird and freaky, but the rest of the crew and the team is really good, so you'll enjoy the worship, I think. Good morning, Brenda. Great to have you aboard too. So, listen, yesterday was kind of a challenging day for yours truly. I hesitate sharing this, but I'm going to go ahead because I want your prayers. Please don't give me, though, a list of medical advice stuff. And I say that with great love. It's just that I've heard all of it. And I am on a regimen, and I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, and I will continue. But you know how it is. You tell somebody you have something. Oh, hey, you should have eye of newt, wing of bat, and a little bit of stevia on the side. It'll be awesome. Fantastic. And you're like, thank you. Oh, thank you. I'd rather die. But yeah, so I'm driving to work in the morning, and I get a call from my doctor. And, hey, Joel, how's it going? Hope you had a great weekend. Hey, listen, by the way, you have diabetes and high cholesterol, and there's protein in your urine, which we'll talk about when you come in. I've called in a bunch of scripts for you, and, of course, we're still getting tests on the gastrointestinal thing, and, of course, you're going to see the cardiologist about that other thing and the EKG, and, of course, you've seen the vascular surgeon about the veins things. And, he didn't go into all that, but that's all part of it. But, just very casually off the cuff, oh, by the way, you have diabetes and high cholesterol, and we got you some meds. And you got protein in your urine, which we'll talk about. All right, have a good day. Bye-bye. And I'm sitting there, just sort of in shock, driving along thinking, what did he just say to me? Yes. So we're starting on all that, and still working through other tests and things that I have to have done. I'm kind of falling apart, basically, I think that's the short answer. I told my wife when this is all said and done, I'll be like Lee Majors, the $6 million man. I'll have new body parts, new everything. It'll just be, I can leap tall buildings with a single bound, I hope, or at least walk. That'd be good if I could still walk. So, yeah, I appreciate your prayers. And then, just one of those days at work where everything you try, it just seems to take longer and get screwed up anyway. And then I had at the end of the day, I was listening to Rush Limbaugh. And if you guys know Rush Limbaugh, I've watched or listened to, and watched in the past, listened to him, on the radio since my dad was alive. He turned me on to him in the 80s, and I think it was late 80s. Yeah, I started listening to him. And at first I thought, oh man, this guy's just a bunch of hot air, blah, blah, blah. And as I started listening, I really felt he made a lot of sense. And the stuff that he quoted, the facts that he shared, the reason that he used really inspired me. In fact, a lot of what I do on this show, as well as what I've done in the past on radio, has been somewhat inspired by him. And I was listening at the end of the day, about to go into my last appointment, and he said, listen, I don't want to really share this, but I need to, because I need you all to understand. He said, I have late stage lung cancer, and that's why I won't be on the air much. I'll be on and off as I get treatment. And I'm just sitting there going, really? Oh, and I forgot in there, right after my doctor called, I got a text from Pastor Steve saying that someone had broken into our vans at Lifeway and vandalized and stole parts, and that just one of them was probably trashed completely, and the other one was going to be, mucho dinero to fix, so we probably needed a new van or two, and we needed to rent one in the meantime. We didn't know if we could afford it, and I'm just sitting there going, oh my gosh, really? This is one of those days. And so, I guess what I want to share in the time we have is just this whole issue of what do we do when we have one of those days where not just one wheel falls off. There's a funny meme on Facebook with a guy driving an old, I don't know, it's not a Model T, but it's an old car. And he's driving around the corner, and the back wheel has come off, and it's flying by him, and he's looking at it like this. And the caption said, "Not that wheel, Jesus. Not that wheel. Take this wheel." Yeah, there are days when it feels like not just one wheel has gone, but they've all fallen off all at the same time. And so, how do you handle that? How do you deal with that? And I think going back to, some things we said yesterday and last week, I think we talked about some of this. The worst thing we can do, in my opinion, is to blame God, right? A lot of people want to do that. Well, God is sovereign, ergo, I have, diabetes, high cholesterol, heart scars, or whatever I have, and vascular disease in my leg. All that is because of God's will. He has given me this as a trial, and therefore I need to, just suck it up, buttercup, and deal with it. And I can certainly try to blame him, or at least just look at him. I won't say blame. I'll say I'm worshiping him, but it's really his doing. So woe is me. I'm a mere servant. I must put up with the will of God. Well, I don't think that's right. I don't think it's true, and I don't think it's fair, and I don't think it paints an honest picture of who God is. Listen. If I have all these things, it's because I haven't taken care of myself, honestly. I mean, I know that. I eat too much. I have a high stress life. I've always had that. Push. Combination of poor diet, stress, and tons of coffee, and a real love for ice cream. Oh, my gosh. That's really what brought me here, not God. He didn't say, you know what, I'm going to give Joel another trial. Let's just hear. There. See how he handles that one. That is not the God that we worship. Now, can God correct and punish? Of course he can. But did he need to even do this? No, because I was handling it by myself very well, thank you very much, driving in this direction. And sometimes it's our own choices, our own fault. Sometimes it's circumstances. It's being in a fallen world. I mean, if someone gets the coronavirus, it's not their fault unless they ran headlong into Wuhan, China, and just decided to have it, or whatever. They were on a suicide mission. Most of the people that have contracted it have had it happen to them, no fault of their own. It's just part of being in this fallen world. Again, did God strike one of these 8 victims here in the United States now just because he wanted to give them a trial and test them out? No, I don't think so. It was a result of being in a fallen world and being exposed to somebody else who had been exposed to somebody else who had this virus. And so I don't think the right reaction is to blame God. I know it's not. I also think that what we need to do is always learn from these things, right? What can be done differently? Well, I can change my diet. I can stop stressing and take some more time to relax. I can take medication in the meantime. And the doctor said it could be reversible, some of this stuff, obviously, if I do the right things. So that's what we do. We learn from it. We move forward. We draw close to him, not further away. If we're mad at him, thinking it's all his fault, we're probably more apt to go further away. So certainly drawing close to him, taking stock of what we can learn and what we can do about it, and not blaming him or letting it separate us. These are all good steps. But I'd love to hear from you, your thoughts, as we have a few minutes here, on how to handle it when you have one of those days as the wheels are flying by you, and you realize those are your wheels. I'd love to hear it. Okay, so I got some comments. I want to make sure that I read those. Let's see what we've got here. Good morning, Roger. Great to have you with us. Best praying for you. Best medical advice. Yeah, and Pastor Roger certainly knows what this is about. He's had a series of problems with his wrist and his hand. He's broken it a couple different times and had to have surgery. And he's had back problems and neck problems and had to have surgery. We keep joking about Pastor Roger because he's a chaplain for my chaplaincy business, that we're going to wrap him in bubble wrap as he goes to visit so that, he'll stay in one piece. He understands. And I'm sure Pastor Roger does not believe that God pushed him when he fell on the ice a couple weeks ago and smashed his hand. Roger, you can disagree, but I'm sure you would say that wasn't God's fault. Linda says she's praying. Thank you. Fred says, I attended a taping of this TV show. You mean his TV show, probably, Rush Limbaugh. Yeah, I always thought this show was great. TV, he didn't really like TV much. He didn't stay long on that venue, but he was really good at it. Jim says, trust in the Lord with all your heart, lean not in your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. Amen, brother. And that is Proverbs 3, verses 5 and 6. And I know that because I'm a pastor, and I have a halo, see? Ding! No, that's not true. That's a life verse. I memorized that when I was a kid. Teenager. Susie says, Rush. Yes, yeah, pray for Rush. And Susie says, welcome to my world. Yeah. Susie's had 2 hip surgeries and other health problems. She's lost a lot of weight, though. She's done great, and she's gotten both surgeries, and she was up walking around at church the other day. We're waiting for the Blues Brothers-like backflips off the top of the... we don't really have a balcony, but there's a lift, and we're waiting for her to come out on the lift and do a backflip onto the floor. We'll see how that works. No, it's great. So, I think, absolutely, Jim's advice, trust in the Lord. Don't lean on your own understanding. Acknowledge him in this. He'll direct, he'll show, and he is. And clearly, my wife said, rightly, hey, it's good you find all this stuff out now and we can deal with it. And hopefully it means years of good health, as a result. So we're praying for that, believing that is possible. We'll see as more tests unfold here. I see a cardiologist next week and a gastroenterologist the end of this week, I think it is. And then I start a bunch of vascular surgical procedures on my leg. I think it's next week also. I don't know. I'm confused. I basically go to work and go to doctors. And then once in a while squeeze church in there. That's kind of my life right now. So. But it's good. It's good because it will produce hopefully good fruit and a better dedication to health and an opportunity to serve for longer, I trust. Roger says, got great news. Diabetes and cholesterol under control now by diet change. You can do it. Hey, good man. Thank you. I know that's true. And, I pressed the doctor on that issue. I said, can it be reversed? Can I change this? And, if you lose weight, you could probably do that, yeah. Of course, they're always about, medication as the solution. You don't have to change anything. Just take this pill. But I know I don't want to do that forever. Dave says, if God allows a trial, it is to perfect our faith. Yeah, he doesn't always intervene. He'll use all things for the good of those who are called, right? Romans 8. So that's definitely true. It's just I stay away from the idea that God just sat up there one day and went, let's give him diabetes. Yeah. See how he handles that one. That's just not who he is. Dave says we should, rather than pray it away or try to circumvent it, ask him what it is he wants us to learn. Maybe there's an area in our life or our heart unyielded to his lordship. In any case, do we trust him? The Bible says even Christ, though born perfect, was made perfect in his sufferings. Yeah. So there's always that lesson to learn, right? There's always that attitude of, okay, God, what can... And for me, obviously one thing is stop stressing, because you're supposed to trust him, not stress, and also don't eat everything that's not moving, Follow the principles, even in the Word. We have many principles that would guide our diet in a better direction than mine has been. So I've often said I come home from work in ministry, church, and now chaplaincy, and hospice, and you look at the gun cabinet or the refrigerator, and you figure the fridge is the lesser of two evils, and so you eat whatever you can get your hands on, and that's not always the wisest thing. So that's an obvious lesson, but there are other things too. The point is, we just don't blame God. We learn from it, and we move on. Amen. Roger said that's why God created bubble wrap, was for guys like him. Yeah. And good morning to Richie too. Well, listen, we're about out of time here. Good stuff, good discussion. Appreciate your prayers. Hey, listen, stay in the Word. Don't ignore it. Go deeper into it. If you want to join us again Wednesday night for our study through 1 Corinthians, just send an email to joel@lifewaych.com. We will zap you a link. You do not need to download Zoom or anything else. You just click the link and then back off. Watch it do its thing, and the next thing you know, you'll be part of Hollywood Squares on your laptop and part of our discussion at Susie's on 1 Corinthians. Let me know if that's something you'd like to do, or you can always come to. You can always show up. You can message Susie right here through Facebook. Guys, remember, you can participate 24/7 here on Facebook with notes and comments. You can also call us at 860-500-7163, 860-500-7163, or you can email the Pondering Show, particularly by just sending an email to ponderingradio@gmail.com. And in the meantime, as I said, stay in the Word, keep praying, and keep pondering. Tell your friends and neighbors about us, and we'll be back tomorrow at 7:30. Bye for now.